What's going on, peoples, kings and queens out there? Happy Valentine's Day, right?
Yes,
Happy
happy Valentine's
Valentine's
Day.
Day. This month is the month of love, guys. Yes, we're talking about it. We have a good session today, and look, if we can just say we're gonna make this session last all week. We're gonna go ahead and take care of Marriage Mondays on Tuesday, Marriage Mondays on Wednesday, Marriage Monday on Thursday, Marriage Monday on Friday. Come on, man, we cannot have enough Marriage Mondays throughout our week, man. And so I just thank everybody for tuning in tonight. And those I appreciate those who are going to tune in at a later time, man. I just thank God for each and every one of y'all, man. Every day, man. Uh, we get to talk about it though. We've been talking about it for now. Quite. This is uh, episode number 11, episode number 11. Like, we're moving up the ladder now, and we're talking about marriage, guys. We're talking about marriage. And so we're happen to be in February, and guess what that is? Valentine's. Today is Valentine's. And so we're gonna go ahead and talk about the love tank. The love tank.
Yeah.
Huh? Now, is your love tank half full? Half empty? Come on. Can your love tank be filled? Who can fill that love tank? And say you're married, if you're married, your spouse is one that should fill that tank up with love and whatever is needed for that day, right? Yeah, yeah. And so look, guys, we're glad that you're tuning in tonight. This one right here, we're gonna go ahead and stretch it out over the week. And so here we go. We're talking about the love tank now, right? Now you'll get it. We're gonna put these sessions together, and by 2 days, 3 days from now, you're gonna understand why we took this route. It's a 7 day completion. All right, just stay tuned in. 7 days. That's a perfected number of God. And so I'm tuning in right now to the Spirit, and it's saying, perfected love cast out all fear.
Mm, that's good.
Perfected love cast out all fear. We're in the month of May, and so let me tell you guys, we are in the love month. The Lord is out of us, surround us in love.
February.
February, I mean, I'm sorry. February, let me say it again. But look, if I can't just, there's a scripture behind this, and it's gonna be out in First Peter 4:8. Check this out. Above all, love each other deeply. Love each other deeply. I don't understand. I don't know about y'all guys, but when we love each other deeply, we have to go to the depths of our soul, the depths to our spirit when the times call for it. There's going to be days and moments throughout the day that we might hear a little bit of stress point in within our day, and so we'll have to tune in to our spouse at a deeper level because love covers over a multitude of sin, a multitude of sin. Let's read that again. Above all, love each other deeply. Love each other deeply. Can't say it enough.
Right.
Can't say it enough. We got to get to a point. We got to get to a point where we're loving each other more deeply, more profound. Let's show it through not only our words, but let's show it through our action. But check it out. Someone once said insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, expecting different results. How many of you guys out there have actually heard that phrase? Let me say it again. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. If this were right, That means the approach many spouses take toward overcoming their language barrier is downright crazy. Downright crazy. They double down on their own love language, trying over and over again to break through to their spouse in the only way they know how. In other words, they work harder instead of smarter. They work harder instead of smarter. Huh?
Mhm.
And so they put the on us on their spouse to translate their actions into a language the spouse can understand. It doesn't matter that your heart is in the right place or that you're trying as hard as you possibly can or that other women would feel lucky to have a husband like you. You will not be able to fill your wife's love tank without using her primary love language. Love languages. Hmm. Does that ring a bell? Love languages. And so within this the next few episodes, as we're talking about the love month and filling the love tank, we're gonna come from a perspective of the five love languages. The five love languages. I'm learning them myself right now. We've been in teachings in past times, but I'll let Tiffany let her tell you what the five love languages are. The five
You've got uh, words of affirmation,
words of affirmation.
receiving gifts,
Receiving gifts. Wow.
quality time,
Quality time.
physical touch,
Physical touch.
and let's see, there's one more. There's one more. Words of affirmation, physical touch, quality time, receiving gifts. My mind went blank.
there's another one. It's within our study.
Yes, yes.
It's within our studies, but we're gonna be in that perspective this week. Uh, we'll try not to go overboard, but we'll go ahead and touch on those five love languages throughout this week. This week will make the week of love strong within our marriage. Okay, this is our prayer. The way to build a thriving, exciting, unpredictable, all inspiring, life changing relationship with your wife is to master her or his primary love language, to embrace the challenge of becoming bilingual. Bilingual like English and Spanish and German and French. We're not talking about that. We're talking about being bilingual in your affection for your spouse. What languages does she like to speak fluently? What love language does he like that arouses him in such a way that there's no hostility? There's nothing but love and happiness and joy, not walking on eggshells, not wondering what's going through his mind or any of these things, right? Right? And so the way to build a thriving, exciting, unpredictable, all inspiring, all inspiring. The good news is that the process isn't nearly as challenging as learning an actual language. They say English is the most difficult language to learn, the most difficult language to learn. But look, you don't have to worry about conjugating verbs and using the proper tense. The challenge of becoming fluent in another love language might be better compared to perfecting a golf swing. Like I would have trouble trying to play golf. I've never done it before, but it's just they're comparing it to first learning how to take a golf swing and actually hitting the ball. I think I'll hit the ground a few times before I hit the ball. You know, you have to constantly be working at it. It's like a muscle that you're trying to build up in the gym. trying to lose that extra pounds around the gut and the thigh area, what have you. We have to constantly be exercising and burning those calories. Therefore, we get the results that we're looking for. No? And so the process is awkward at first. If you ever taken lessons from a pro golfer, you know the first step is to unlearn. I think that's very important. Check it out. Unlearn all the bad habits you develop over the years. 24 years, there's been some bad habits that we had to go through there and kind of tweak this and tweak that in our attitude or the way we spoke to each other, down to how we looked at each other. 24 years, I can look at my wife a certain way and she be like, "Why you give me that look for? What's up?" You know. But then you give her that old sweet look, like take me to.
What do you want? What do you want?
What do you want? Look, huh? What do you want? Look, you heard her. Look, this process is awkward at first. Things just don't feel right. Learning these languages will not feel right, man. It'll take you out your comfort zone. One thing, if you're not used to affectionate touch, that can be awkward at first,
Because if that's not your love language, it's hard to give that love language, especially if that's one of your spouse's love languages. So you have to learn how to give that type of affection. And a lot of times, sometimes physical touch, I'm getting a little bit deep, they think automatically sexual.
Right.
Their physical touch sometimes is like, it's hard to unlearn that physical touch is not always sexual. Because when you say physical touch, you're thinking, oh, okay, she's sexual. It's not that. It's just, the simple hug or putting your hand on the shoulder or something, just rubbing a little bit, and
we'll touch on that.
Just we'll get into it. And the other one was acts of service.
Yeah, acts of service. There you go. I knew she knew them down. Yes, we just ran through them. We've been running through them all day long, and we knew we were just gonna mess up on one of them. But look, with enough repetition, you start to see positive results. You keep doing it. You keep doing it. You keep doing it. You start to see the results. What you're working at. You go to the gym every day, 5 days a week, for 5 weeks. You're gonna see some results. The same goes from learning a new love language. If you're an acts of service kind of guy, you're probably not going to feel uncomfortable. You're not going to feel comfortable giving quality time to your wife, not at first, at least. Your initial efforts likely will feel unnatural and forced. But with the right attitude and with the tips and strategies outlined in the pages that follow, that we're going to go through these pages with y'all guys, you will master a second love language. You will fill your wife's love tank, your husband's love tank, and keep it topped off. Keep it topped off at all times. At all times. That's something that you don't want to go below 3/4 of a tank. Once you start getting that low, you want to.
I see it like this. Everybody has a love tank. Okay. So a lot of people, they say, well, it's just, not there no more the same way it was when we were dating, or, I don't know what happened to us. Everything was gravy. And now that we're married, it seems like we don't have nothing in common, or we don't need each other as much, or there's all these things that you get wrapped up in, and you feel like the love is gone. But think about it, you have that love tank that needs to be filled. Just like a car, you have to put oil in your car. It has to run off some oil. And correct me if I get wrong on this, Mr. Mechanic, but if you run your car without oil, you're going to have some engine problems.
Seriously.
So if you run your marriage with no oil in that love tank,
come on now,
you're going to start having some problems.
Serious problem.
So what you're gonna have serious problems on the vehicle. So you
Right.
think about it.
Right.
It's gonna cost you a lot to get that fixed. You want to keep running that car, and
Yeah.
you're gonna blow your engine up, mess your engine up.
Man.
What happens after that? You're dead. Your car's dead.
Yeah.
It's gonna cost a lot of money to get that joker
New
fixed.
engine.
You need a new engine.
Wow. Yeah.
So what happens when that love tank goes fully empty? Eventually, if you're not trying to figure it out how to fill that love tank up for your spouse, your marriage is gonna die.
Wow.
So
wow.
That's just something to ponder on. You got to keep
that was that was a good idea. That was a good strategy. What she said, about the oil, and I've been a mechanic for knee high to a grasshopper. I came out of mama with a wrench in my hand, and I could very vouch for that. That if you run your car low on oil or no oil at all, when it's insufficient of oil, you start burning up your gears, your bearings, and all those things on the inside. And if you run it low all the time, you're just doing more damage to your vehicle. Well, that same thing happens with the marriage. That's what they happen. And look, we have a check engine light too.
Yes.
We have a check love tank too. Like when we start getting distance from each other and stuff like this, and there's more arguments a week or every day, starting to happen every day now. Like the love tank obviously is empty or going empty, and something has gone on a dead cycle.
Needs to be serviced.
Yeah, your love vehicle between y'all's marriage, in y'all's marriage, has to be serviced. Has to be serviced, and then we have to go back to the scripture of First Peter 4:8. It says, above all, love each other deeply. Maybe we haven't. Maybe we came from the depths of our love cycle with our spouse. We need to go ahead and we're up here on top. It says not shallow but deeply. We want to go deep in love with one another.
Another thing too, we touched on the scripture about leaving and cleaving and becoming one flesh.
Right.
So just because you become one flesh doesn't mean you lose your identity.
Right.
So that, when you become one flesh doesn't mean automatically y'all's love languages are going to be the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's up, you didn't lose your identity. You're still going to have that different stuff about you.
Right.
You're one in spirit, but you got to be so one with each other to know, okay, my baby is a words of affirmation guy. And he's got to recognize what I am. And you could be more than one.
You could be more than one.
More than one.
Yeah. You can learn different bilingual, and you can have Spanish behind you, German, French, Polish.
You have to learn how to use them, when to use, what time to use which one, and
we can say we got different personalities, so we need to know what which one, what acts do we need to do.
Right.
Sometimes we might act and have to pull out the Bible to the books of Acts. For real. But check it out though, you will make her feel uniquely and spectacularly loved. Likewise with the husband, you will make him feel uniquely and spectacularly loved. You will experience what it's like to be on top of your game. I don't know about y'all guys, but we like to be on top of our game with each other.
Yeah.
At everything that we do, either cooking, cleaning, making a bed, it doesn't matter. We definitely strive to be on top of our game at all times, every day, and keep the peace. Yes.
We know what makes each other, ticked off or whatever. So,
right.
We try to keep the peace as much as possible.
Oh Lord, come on now.
You got no time for that, honey.
I know that, right. But check it out. You will experience what it's like to be on top of your game, not just as a loving husband to your wife or your loving wife to your husband, but also a role model. Check this out, guys. We got to tap on this a little bit, because not only we're doing it for one another, we're role modeling, role playing to look, the younger people, your children, our children, our grandbabies, your grandbabies, uh, those nieces and nephews that are around you constantly, those people, uh, uh, um, to your children, to other young people who don't see that kind of behavior modeled in their own families, to other husbands who are looking for answers. Check it out. What one family don't see, doesn't have, when the children come around you, say your nieces or your nephews, cousins or whatever, they see how you're role modeling in your marriage, how y'all are constantly doing things with each other, how y'all speak to each other, and then when there's problems arising, circumstances or situations arise, uh, they right there in the middle, they're seeing us how we're taking care, how we handle them.
And believe it or not, like I know it's a little bit off, but children have love tanks too.
Right.
It's very important to learn your children's love language.
Yes, indeed.
To be a good parent, it's important to learn that, because not your children are not going to have the same love languages. They're not going to respond the same. I strongly agree, or strongly feel like my granddaughter is like a quality time.
Yeah.
She wants that quality time with you. On the other hand, Rooster now, I don't know about him yet. He might be an acts of service kind of guy. I think he even likes words affirmation.
Yeah.
I think even Alize too. They both love it whenever, especially Rooster, when you tell him he's doing really well in something. So, I mean, when you're disciplining or even trying to reward them, it's very important to know what their love language is. So when you reward them, you can reward them in their, love language, and it means more to them that way.
Yes.
You're filling their love tank.
Filling their love tank.
And then that way they know too, when they get older, they're going to automatically like kick in gear and know like, hey,
And that's just the thing, guys. We're here talking about marriage and love and all of this stuff, and we can just learn these 5 love languages that we're gonna go over the next 7 days. Put them into action. I never understood them. We took these lessons a couple times in the past, and we kind of filled it out. But I think where we were at is that we knew what love language we were, and we stuck on those. We stuck on those. And so this time around, we want to get past those because we're already strong in those love languages already. We need to try to hit the other ones.
Right. Because like I said, like you could be more than one.
Yeah.
But I feel like sometimes we all can be all 5 of them.
Yeah.
But there's like the secret is to kind of know like, okay, right now she's in this type of mood, so I need to use this one for her.
Yeah.
Pour in, let me see, she needs that physical touch right now. So let me pour in my physical touch to her and help her get through whatever she's going through, or just to fill that, top that love tank off. So you could just always constantly keep it topped off. So
yeah.
I can't wait to get it more in depth.
More in depth, man. I tell you, because these times right now are very critical too. That what we're going through.
Mm-hmm.
People are just dying on the left hand side of us, on the right hand side of us, in front of us, in back of us, and what do you know? That tank literally gets ripped in half when your spouse passes away.
Yeah.
And we're here talking about it, guys. How we're going through these hard times too. How in times of trouble, when you're pressured to move out of your home to another home, just for personal reasons, as property management and all of this stuff, renewing their property and another management coming in. Somebody's out there hearing this, because this is you. Y'all going through those things, and look, when y'all go through those troubles, y'all go through those times of pressing and crushing. That's when the love tank really goes empty. It's like we put a full tank of gas in our car, and we hit I-10 or I-20 and take off towards California. Now, by the time we know it, if we don't refill again, we're gonna be in a world of mess. We're gonna run out of gas in the middle of the desert, where the sign says the next gas station 150 miles away. You get me? And so, literally, guys, we're here to back y'all up. This is the month of love. We're gonna go and hit this thing strong all week long. Like literally, get out there, check us out, listen to us, man. I I never I never did hear it as a love tank before.
I've heard it before,
Yeah,
but it didn't really, I guess, strike me too much at that time.
Yeah.
But now I realize,
Yeah.
years later,
Yeah.
you just, and you can see it,
Right.
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 Like it really can cause some drama and havoc and just hard times in your marriage
Yeah.
if you don't know how to keep that tank
Right.
full. It's like an emotional tank,
Yeah.
your emotional tank,
Yeah.
your love tank.
Oh yes, we gotta talk about that one too. 'Cause that's part of it.
Yeah, that's exactly
Yeah.
what it is. It's
Yeah.
your emotional tank. It's your love tank. It's your emotional tank. So
Yeah.
you got to keep that topped off. You can't let it go
Right.
empty. You can't let that oil burn up.
If you let the love tank go, you'll be emotional wreck. Emotional wreck. Uh, we need to keep our mindset full
Mhm.
of positivity, creation, uh, strategy, ideas of how to keep those tanks full. We can't stress it enough that the tank of love, or your mental state, it can be a tank also. Where's that level at? Is it balancing off? Is the positivity in your mind staying up high? Is it full? What are some things that we're putting constantly in our minds every day to stay positive? How we're filling those tanks up. This all matters. This ain't even in our notes. This all matters when it comes to marriage, and I believe it's coming up right now because we're just dwelling and dwelling with each other. We're just loving on each other in the month of May. Look, we've done the going and eating out and all this stuff on Valentine's, balloons, roses, whatever. What's more important than going and spending a few $100s on supper and balloons and roses and gifts and all this is how we balance our love tank out. How do we keep it filled? How do we fill that tank back up when we see that their love tank, her love tank, his love tank is going empty? Is it almost empty? Because a gasoline tank, when you let it sit there, it starts sucking itself in because of pressure in there. Has our marriage gotten to a point where life is just sucking us out? It's just sucking us out. Is it sucking the life out of our marriage? Is it those things? Is it sucking the life out of us to where we're constantly running our love tank at a quarter of full, not 3 quarters, because it's almost full. I'm talking about a quarter. We always throwing in $5 worth the gasoline every time we get to the empty mark. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I've been there, done that, where I had to just put $5, $7, maybe $10 at a time in the gas tank. It's the same situation with the marriage. Got to be constantly putting those encouragement and enlightenments and all inspiring moments during the day with your spouse. You got to. We got to hit this thing called life, man, strong. strong. Why? Because people's marriages and people's relationships are just getting torn apart. And we're here. Tiffany and I are here every Monday night trying to get on here and tell the world, hey, marriage is not outdated, overrated. As a matter of fact, it's time for dating. It's time to get to that first love, to get to the first love. You remember when we got together, how we fell in love with each other? We're 24 years deep in this thing. When those times of stress come out of our during our day, and it stresses our marriage to where we want to go off and spend time somewhere over here at the bar or the cantina or somewhere like that, other than spending time with the spouse at home. We want to distance ourselves. That is the time. That is the time where it's time to kick it in gear and know, look, I fell in love with her. I fell in love with him because of this, because of that, because of this, because of that. And that should move y'all for the next 24 years. For the next 24 years. The next 24 years. Filling up each other's tank. Filling up each other's tank. No? I thank you guys, man. I thank y'all for tuning in tonight, man. Love, love, love each other deeply. The word of God cannot say it enough. Love each other deeply, man. Hey, thanks for tuning in tonight. Thank you for those who tune in at a later time. You still watched it. Go on there on our Make It Happen page on Facebook page, like, comment, post, share, do all these things for us, guys. Get us out there. There's a lot of people out there that need to hear our message, hear our messages and our teachings on marriage. Even go to Big G's Ministries YouTube page. We might be changing that here in a little bit. But go on there, do the same. Subscribe, like, comment, share, tell somebody about it. Somebody, if it's not your marriage, somebody's marriage needs to hear what we're talking about. Do us a favor. Help get us out there to those that need help in their marriage, man. We thank y'all for another episode of Marriage Mondays. We'll see y'all tomorrow night about the same time, guys. All right.
Good night.